Hello everybody, my name is Lemonade, also called by Lemon. I'm your coach of the Sacramento Surge, and today we've got a brand new league starting up with the Ability Swap Draft Federation, and I'm very excited for this league because it is a league that I myself put together. I made it myself, and it's my own idea, where every single Pokemon that you draft has to change one of its abilities to something else. And a lot of people signed up. We've got 24 coaches in total, split into two divisions. I am placed in the Chaos division. The other is the Order. And the top four coaches of each division meet up for a playoff, an 8-player bracket style playoff. Pretty standard with that. But the key feature of this league is most definitely the ability swap thing. Um, and I'm very excited for it. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited. And with that being said, let's just go straight on into it. So, in this draft, we are drafting a team of 11 Pokemon using up 110 points. But we also have to draft 11 abilities for these 11 Pokemon. And basically, what it is we take one of the abilities that the Pokemon normally has, and we have to replace it with something else. Um, but it's pretty important to note that it's not like you have to run that ability every time. If you have a Pokemon that can have 3 abilities and you replace one of them, which everybody can only replace one at a time, then you're basically switching out the option of running that ability is what this league is. So it's really weird, really fun. I had a blast drafting this, and I think that a lot of the other coaches did too. Some of the teams out there are pretty crazy, and it's really fun. I'm already really enjoying it. That being said, though, let's go on. In the bottom right, you're going to be able to see the Pokemon we drafted, their nickname, their typing, their stats, or their base stats, I mean, and the 3 abilities they normally have. And then later on, we're going to go into the ability draft. It was split in 2, and explain the abilities that we replaced on every Pokemon. That being said, though, I actually had the very first pick of the entire draft, and using that, I, of course, went with Hanzo the Dragapult. Uh, Very standard first pick of the entire draft, Dragapult. But it's a ghost type I've been wanting to use. I have a really hard time enjoying ghost types. Just a lot of them don't fit my playstyle. And I don't even know what my playstyle is yet. But I know I like stupid fast Pokemon, and that is this. Dragapult with the ghost and dragon typing is really, really good. This thing is really good just all around. Um, Base 120 attack is amazing for its signature dragon type move, Dragon Darts. It's a 40 base power move, I think, that hits twice guaranteed. Um, that's just really good in general. Being a stab dragon type move that hits that hard twice, and all that's really good. Base 100 special attack is also pretty good. It's got some really good special coverage in like Draco Meteor, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, Surf, Fire Blast. I'm sure there's some others that there might be Flash Cannon, I don't know. Um, but it's really good. It can set up with Dragon Dance. But the main feature of Dragon Bolt is most definitely that stupid high base 142 speed, and it's so good at outspeeding things that most of the time it can actually afford to run Modest or Adamant to make its offense just a little bit better. And that's really big. But on top of that, for the whole ability swap thing, it has 3 good options for abilities naturally. Clear Body, being immune to can't have its stats dropped is really good. Um, for like people with webs is really good. Infiltrator, being able to completely ignore both substitute and screens is really good because I think that there's some team out there with no, actually never mind. I was gonna say I think that there's some team out there with Alolan Ninetales, and that's actually not true. I don't think. But Curse Body. Curse Body is the one that is most likely to leave. It's just not that great. But Dragapult is so versatile. It's got defensive sets with screens. It's got offensive sets with specs, and I've even seen Banded Dragapult. It's not that great because it's physical offense. Like its coverage is not the greatest, but it's still a really good Pokemon and definitely worth the pick. This thing cost us 18 points, putting us down at 92. And having first pick, it takes forever to get back to me. It takes an absolutely forever long time. But I did have a couple of things in mind. With Dragapult on my team, I wanted to really focus on getting a good Fairy Dragon Steel Core. And one of the steel types I've been really wanting to use lately is Thistle the Ferrothorn. So Ferrothorn is a really, really good steel type with, it's a grass and steel type. So first of all, it's filling in the steel type role for our Fairy Dragon Steel, but it's actually also a grass type to tie in with our Firewater Grass, which is really solid. It's got good defense, 131 physical defense and 116 special defense. 74 HP is not the greatest, but it's doable. 94 attack means it can hit pretty hard with Power Whip and Gyro Ball and Knockoff as well. It can Leech Seed, it can set up both Spikes and Stealth Rocks. Uh, it's just all around pretty solid. And it's got a pretty good ability already in Iron Barbs, but Anticipation is really worth getting rid of. So it has the so hypothetically, we could get like Flash Fire on this thing and and have a fire immunity. I thought that Drought or Drizzle on this thing would be pretty cool with Dragapult having like Swift Swim, so it can outspeed everything. And then Dragapult has like Thunder and Surf. Like I thought that could be pretty cool. There's a lot you can do with Ferrothorn in this format, and I'm really excited to use it. And I don't think there's really much else to say about it. It costs 16 points, putting us down to 76. But now it's time for our fairy. I said I wanted a good Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and I'm sure that whenever I said good fairy, you were not expecting to see Aphrodite the Mega Audino. I am so excited to use Mega Audino in this league because it pairs incredibly well with Dragapult, being immune to both Ghost and Dragon, which Dragapult is weak to both. Um, it's only weak to Poison and Steel, which Ferrothorn is a great switch into both of those. And Mega Audino being a fairy type that doesn't resist fighting, which is one of the reasons that people don't really like Mega Audino. Um, but I have a Ghost type Dragon, so all around it's a very good Fairy Dragon Steel. But Mega Audino here has really good defensive stats. 103 HP, 126 defense, and 126 special defense is really good. And base 80 special attack is really good too. It's got access to Ice Beam and Thunderbolt, the heavily favored Bolt Beam coverage. It's got Draining Kiss, Dazzling Gleam, I believe is its highest power fairy move, which is unfortunate, but I can work with it. It's got Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure. But the main feature is most definitely Wish and Heal Bell. If you get a good ability on this thing, it's going to be an amazing Wish healer. Absolutely amazing. Regular Audino is a pain in the butt to deal with, um, just because of its Regenerator and having very good stats. And if we can get something like Regenerator, Filter, Aroma Veil, I even had Triage. Triage was on my list of something I really thought would be cool for this. Having like priority wishes and Healing Wish would be really cool. Also, Healing Wish, one of my favorite support moves in the game. I love Healing Wish Gardevoir. I'm excited to use Healing Wish Audino. I don't even know if I will, but I'm gonna try. This thing costs 13 points, putting us down at 63, and I think it's a really good pick all around. Pairs super well with Dragapult, and if we can get a good ability on it, this thing is going to be a threat. That being said, though, I knew going in at this point, and I really needed to get a good Firewater Grass as well. I got Ferrothorn, which is a really good start, but I didn't know where else to go, and I kind of just made an impulse decision to go with Buzz Shock, the Rotom Wash, because this is I enjoy the Rotom forms. Rotom Mow and Rotom Heat are the two that I've used. I've used Rotom Fan. I enjoyed Rotom Fan, but Rotom Mow is my favorite one. But I also haven't tried Rotom Wash yet, and I really want to give it a shot. Rotom Wash is really good generally with Hydro Pumps and Thunderbolts and Volt Switches, but it also has access to Thunderwave and Will-O-Wisp for status control, Defog. Um, it has Pain Split for recovery, and to deal with some of the other very high HP Pokemon. It could help out a lot with that. Um, and previously to this league, it only has one weakness to grass. That is not the case here, and that's a very important thing to note, is that it only has one ability to remove in the ability draft, so it can't have Levitate. There's no possible way for it to have Levitate, according to the league rules. So this is not a ground immunity Pokemon, and that is slightly disappointing, but I can work with it, like I said. Um, it's all around a good water type. It's a good electric type as well. It's good. That's it. It's good. So Buzzshock joining the team. This thing cost another 13 points, putting us at 50, putting us in, putting us more than halfway done before uh, 5 picks have been made. But it should be noted that I have the wheel, So usually it's going to be that kind of way. It's going to be that type of thing where like it seems like I'm spending more points than everybody else, but that's not the case. That being said, though, for our next pick, I noticed I don't have I have one good knockoff Red Ferrothorn, and I wanted something that was good at it. I wanted something that could set hazards, maybe pivot as well, since I don't want to be relying on Dragapult and Rotom to always do it every single week because they have other sets that they really like. And one of the Pokemon that fits all of those roles that I've enjoyed using in the past fit here pretty well, and it was Brainstorm the Uxie. So 10 point, is it 10 point? 11 point. 11 point, I think it was, hold on, I'm thinking about it. I think it was 11 point Uxie. Um, Uxie is one of my favorite psychic types used in draft. I really enjoy defensive psychic types. Um, being a pure psychic type, that means it resists psychic and fighting, which is really good considering that Mega Audino does not resist fighting. I thought that was going to be a really good feature to have. Base 95 speed means it can go for taunt. I think it has. Does it have taunt? I don't even know. I don't even remember. I don't think it does. You can go for stealth rocks, knockoff. It has memento, which is one of my favorite support moves in the game. Um, it can actually hit kind of hard with just psychic alone. It's got heal bell for support, which is all around just pretty solid. Like I'll never say no to having another heal bell user. Um, good defenses all around. Base 75 HP is not the greatest, but 130 in both defense is really solid. Really hard to take down without using super effective moves. And base 95 speed, like I said, just allows it to go for those speedy support moves, which I really enjoy. And all around, I really like this thing. I'm pretty sure it costs 11 points. Yeah, doing the math in my head, it costs 11 points, which I am okay spending on a Uxie. So again, this is the point where it takes a while to get back to me, and I was looking at it and I was like, holy crap, I need a dark type, and holy crap, I need speed. And one of my favorite dark types that fits the category of being fast, because there's very, very few of them, is actually not this. I forgot that I picked it after this. Anyway, I need a ground type. I did very badly. Once again, I was thinking a knockoffer would be good, stealth rocker would be good, maybe get some more hazard removal. And this is my favorite ground type of all time. I love Donphan. So I grabbed 10 point Donphan, putting us down at 29. Excuse me. And I love this pick. I love Donphan so much. It's my favorite ground type to use in draft. I've drafted it like 3 or 4 times now, and I've enjoyed it every single time. Pure ground type, very good resistance to rock, very helpful for some of our other things later. But most importantly, it's got rapid spin. It's got really good coverage. That base 120 attack and defense means that it can hit pretty hard with just earthquakes, even going uninvested in attack. That physical defense stat means it can just be a really good physical defensive wall with base 90 HP and sturdy. I love that this thing has sturdy. It's been one of my most favorite answers to Volcarona ever. I think I've ran sturdy heavy duty boots a couple times for Volcarona, and ran like a Stone Edge on it for Volcarona specifically, and I really enjoyed it every single time. It's one of my favorites. And I'm sure I'll be running that again, something like that again. It's really good at shutting down some of those things with sturdy. Uh, it's actually got some really good coverage. Knockoff, Play Rough, Earthquake, Stone Edge. It has. Oh, I know there's something else. I think it has Fire Fang. But another good thing about it is that it has Ice Shard. A priority move I'll never say no to because currently I have like none. I have Sucker Punch, Dragapult, and that's it. And Dragapult never really cares enough to run Sucker Punch. It just doesn't. The Cannon Bolt, super excited to use this thing. There's a couple of abilities out there that would be really cool to use this on. Something like Thick Fat, Ice Skills would be amazing. Um, Thick Fat was the one that was most on my radar though, for sure. It was affordable, gives me a fire resistance and an ice. My brain shut off. Hold on, and an ice neutrality. I like it a lot. I like this thing. I'm very excited to use it again. And moving on to the next pick, this is the speedy dark type that I knew we needed, and it's one of my favorites. I'm so excited to use this thing. I think it's got some crazy powerful opportunities, and I thought the same thing whenever I went into this pick. It is Dolus the Zoroark. So Zoroark is a pure dark type that is usually known for its mind games with illusion. That is not the case here because it cannot have illusion. Because we were forced to change one of our Pokemon's abilities in the ability draft for every single Pokemon, this thing cannot have illusion. But I'm okay with that because it could allow Zoroark to become a real potential threat. It could get something like Tough Claws or Dark Aura would be pretty good. Even something like Tinted Lens would be solid. Um, but yeah, I love this thing. It's got a really good special attack, which I think my team needed a bit more immediate special offense. I've got immediate physical for sure with Donphan Dragapult, but some immediate special would be really nice. I think Zoroark fits that category perfectly. It can set up with a nasty plot. It can hit really hard with extra sensory, flamethrower, sludge bomb, dark pulse. Uh, it has Sucker Punch for priority, which I'll never say no to again. It's got Knockoff and U-Turn. It has Memento for support as well. It's one of my favorites. It only costs 9 points. I love it. I'm very excited to use it. It's I'm so excited. I love Zoroark. It's got a ton of potential. This thing is crazy frail though. It's a very important thing to note is that it is frail as heck. It does not take hits at all. Base 60 in all of its defensive stats is not good. But um, chances are I'll be getting some better answers to that later on, being week 2, fighting fairy, bug, and I think that's it. Just fighting fairy. I think it's just fighting fairy and bug. Uxie can take the majority of those hits pretty well. Uh, and Ferrothorn can take some of them. Not super great, or yeah, not super great, but they can. Um, but it's such a good Pokemon for this format that I couldn't pass up on it. I was originally gonna go Liepard, but then I just kind of my brain shut off when it was my pick, and I said Zoroark seems fun. Yes. So base 105 speed, really helpful as well. It can be a good Scarfer, good Life Orb user with Sucker Punch knockoff, or just Dark Pulse Flamethrower. Very solid. I like it a lot. I'm very excited to use it. And once again, it was taking forever for it to get back to my pick, but I knew I needed some more removal because I'm not going to survive off of Donphan Rotom, and that's it actually, just Donphan and Rotom for now. Like, I'm not going to survive off those. But I also wanted to get more priority, and with only 20 points left, I can't afford so many, like, specific things. And one thing that I've always wanted to draft, something that a lot of people have always said was the best not fully evolved Pokemon, is a really fun one. I used it a very long time ago, but the league got shut down, so I couldn't get to like actually use it very much. I got to use it 1 week, and I was very new to draft at the time. Um, but I'm taking my chance to use it again here, and it's Toshi the Girder. So Girder is an amazing not fully evolved Pokemon. It's so good. It really is just a miniature Conkeldurr, which is one of my favorite fighting types to use in draft. It's got access to all of the elemental punches with Iron Fist, very helpful. Guts is amazing. Gives it a +1 attack if it's statused. So if my opponent has a very status heavy team, which it should be noted that I have 2 heal bill users. So if it's a status that I really don't want this thing to have, like paralysis or poison, I can go to Uxie or Audino, go for heal bill, heal it off. It's all good. So really excited about that. I like it a lot. Base 1 to 5 attack is pretty decent, respectable. 85 in HP and defense is also respectable. 50 special defense is not, but if you're calculating for the Eviolite bonus of giving it 1.5 in both defense and special defense, because it's a not void evolved Pokemon, it can be pretty tanky. It's also got access to Mach Punch, which was really important for me. Drain Punch for longevity. It's got a Defog, which was really good. That was the main feature of grabbing this thing, is that it has Defog. So Toshi, the pure fighting type, Girder, I like it a lot. Very excited to use it. I've been wanting to use it for a while. And at this point, I'm still looking at my team like, oh my gosh, I need speed. This thing put me down to 14 points. It's just, there's not very many options. I'm also thinking, oh wait, I still need a fire. And one of the fire types I've enjoyed using in the past was Rapidash, but I really didn't want to do it again. So I was looking in the same tier, and I just kind of went with it. I didn't take this draft super seriously until like near the end, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually really like this draft. But the fire type I chose to go with cost the same amount of points as Rapidash would have, costing 4 points. We got Krakatoa, the Typhlosion. So Typhlosion is a pretty decent fire type. It's not amazing, for sure, but it's pretty decent. Pure Fire, okay defenses, not great, not very good, not super reliable defensively, but pretty decent offense. 109 special attack, 100 speed. But the most important thing about it is that it has Eruption. Eruption is an amazing fire type move that does more damage depending on how high the user's HP is. So if it's at full HP, I'm pretty sure its maximum power is like 150, which is amazing. On top of that, it has Flash Fire, which grants it a fire type immunity, which pairs great with Ferrothorn, which definitely didn't cross my mind whenever I drafted it. I just said fast fire type, yes, I need it. But Typhlosion, I'm excited to use it. I've been thinking about kind of trying it, giving it a shot, and I think that this might be a good place to use it. That being said, though, with our next pick, we are down to 10 points for only 2 Pokemon left, and you're kind of thinking, great, 5-5. Well, no, not for me. No, I make things complicated. But something that really stood out to me was actually these last 2 picks. I originally drafted Golbat, and I don't remember what it was. I don't even remember what that last pick was, but it was Golbat and something else. Oh, Frostmoth. It was Frostmoth. It was Golbat and Frostmoth. And looking into it after, whenever we got into the grace period, I just didn't like them. I just didn't. But then I looked into it a little bit more, looked into what I could do. I wanted a nice type. I still needed a flying type. Um, and I liked that Golbat had Haze. And in the exact same tier as it was Frost the Articuno. So Cantonian Articuno is respectably tanky, honestly. Base 90 HP, 100 defense, and 125 special defense is solid. This thing just has all around good stats. Base 85 in attack means that it can do pretty good damage with Ice Shard and U-Turn. 95 special attack means it can do pretty good damage with Freeze Dry, Ice Beam, sometimes Air Slash or Hurricane. 85 speed means it can outspeed a good amount of things, run Defog and Roost, keep itself healthy, get hazards off the field. So it's our third Defogger, and puts a pretty good amount. Like it's a decent hazard remover. So we've got some decent hazard removal here. We got some good pivoters, and it's a good flying type, pretty reliable. Which honestly, with Rotom and Uxie not being able to have levitate is really important. I didn't really think about that until I got to this point. And I'm sure they'll make some changes to that later on. But I really like this. I do. And I think it's got some really good potential with ability. But I only have 4 points left. And what's a better way to do it than grabbing another hazard setter, right? So I decided to go with Messel the Shuckle. I actually really like Shuckle in this. I've been wanting to try it, but I just haven't I haven't really been in it. Like I just drafted Rabombi in GPL just because I didn't really want Shuckle, and it was hard for me to fit a fairy on the team without Rabombi. But here I've already got a good fairy. I've already like all the things that were standing in the way of me grabbing Shuckle. They don't exist here. They don't matter. I don't care. I'm grabbing Shuckle. So Shuckle is a really interesting Pokemon with a crazy high defense and special defense stat at 230 each. But that HP stat at 20 sucks. And more importantly, its attacks and speed are awful. 10 and 5. They're awful. But this thing's really good as a lead with access to knockoff. I think it has Encore actually. It's got Stealth Rock, Sticky Web. Uh, it's got Infestation, I'm pretty sure. One of the sets out there is Resto Chesto, which is basically just rest with Chesto Berry to heal the sleep, get it back up to full. So it's got some pretty decent versatility, but I knew that with the right ability, this thing could be powerful. Not powerful, but it could be a real nuisance. Um, and Shuckle's biggest problem is taunt, and there are some abilities out there that block taunt. Aroma Veil, Magic Bounce, uh, Oblivious does. There are some pretty good abilities out there that could pair with this thing really really well. And I thought that hey, if I can afford them, this would be great. So this is how we ended off the ability draft or the Pokemon draft. I really really like our team. I'm a big fan. I do think that Typhlosion and Articuno might change later on, but I'm not like It's too early for me to say that. It's too early. I feel like there's solid use in all 11 of our Pokemon, and I like this team a lot, and I'm very excited to go into the ability draft. And for clarity, uh, in the Pokemon draft, I had the first pick, right? To keep things fair and interesting, in the ability draft, the order is reversed. So I would have last pick. So it was going to take forever to get certain things to me. And it was very unlikely that I was going to be able to get Drizzle and Swift Swim that I was thinking about earlier, like I said with Dragapult Ferrothorn, especially since somebody out there had Zapdos. And that alone is a great Drizzle Pokemon. But I had a lot of faith. I had a lot of high hopes for this. I felt like I could really put something together that would work really well. And here's our format for it. It's exactly the same, but on the bottom right, you're just going to be able to see the ability that we replaced, the ability that it is now, and all of the abilities that the Pokemon now has. Because remember, we're not replacing it to be consistent. Every week, you have to bring this ability on this Pokemon. You're switching out the option. But I knew at the beginning of the draft when went for Mega Audino that if I was going to go for Mega Audino, I had to get a good ability for it. I had to. And there were some good ones. There definitely were. Triage, Aroma Veil, Filter, Regenerator, like I all said. But the one that actually made it to me that surprised me was Regenerator. So I swapped out Healer for Regenerator. This cost me 9 points to do, putting me at 41, which is a good head start. It is. I'm really happy with this. Regenerator Mega Idino is genuinely good. It's just good. So Aphrodite here is a really good Wish Healer. It's a good Pokemon on its own. It's not a super great sweeper. Having pretty low speed, doesn't have a way to boost its physical defense. But it's all around a good support Pokemon now, and it doesn't even have to be a good uh, sweeper. Just it has Regenerator, and that's just solid in itself. It's a Regenerator Fairy type, and that's amazing. That is, it's powerful. It's good defensively. Normal Fairy, honestly, one of the typings I wish we got more, because I think it's really good. Being immune to two amazingly offensive typings, Ghost and Dragon, is very viable, very valuable. But again, I had the wheel, and I really was not sure what to go for here. I didn't know what to go for Dragapult just because it's already such a good Pokemon. Ferrothorn, Flashfire was gone, so I couldn't go for that. Drizzle was gone, so the abilities that would help out with that were gone. I could go for Water Bubble, but that's that's still a one times weakness to fire, and it doesn't help that much, and it costs 10 points, and that's really expensive for just a Ferrothorn. Um, so I'm okay with I was okay with Ferrothorn. I got my good Mega Audino. I had no idea what to do with Rotom and Yuxi. So I said, you know what? I want Shuckle to work. I really want Shuckle to work. And like I said earlier, there are abilities out there that can prevent taunt. And the one that caught my eye the most was definitely Magic Bounce. So we got rid of Gluttony and we slapped on Magic Bounce. Now, do I know if Gluttony was the right choice to get rid of? No. No, I don't. But I could see some value in Contrary. I can't see any value in Gluttony. I just can't. Um, but Magic Bounce is amazing for Shuckle. It genuinely is. Being able to pressure my opponents from not going for Stealth Rocks with an Articuno on my team is crazy valuable. They can't Toxic this thing. They can't taunt it. They can't glare it. They can't status this thing. They can't taunt it. They can't set up hazards in front of it. Their only option is to set up, but this thing can have Encore. What do you know? I'm just gonna Encore you into your setup move, go into Dragapult or something, and then kill it or pressure it out. It works very well. I'm very happy with this pick. Was it early for me to go for something for Shuckle? Probably. Honestly, most likely, yeah. But was it too early for me to go for Magic Bounce Shuckle? No, I don't think it was. I think that Magic Bounce Shuckle is viable and helpful enough that it honestly could be a contender to come every single game. And I'm very happy with it. Now, at this point, it again took forever to get back to me. Magic Bounce cost me 7 points, I think. And I had no idea what to do for the rest of my draft. I had absolutely none. But I wanted something to make Dragapult's special offense better, And something that really like helped out with that was honestly Flare Boost. So I got rid of Curse Body. Like I said earlier, it's the one that was most likely to go. It's just not that great. And I gave it Flare Boost. And what Flare Boost does is if this Dragapult is burned, its special attacks have times 1.5 power. So they have an extra 50% boost in power. And with an amazing offensive typing like Ghost Dragon, that's just really good. Shadow Balls and Draco Meteors are suddenly just that much more terrifying. The downfall is definitely that it can't be a mixed attacker with Flare Boost, but it still has Infiltrator, which is a great ability for a mixed attacking set. My throat's getting kind of dry. I'm gonna finish this up as fast as I can, get some water. But um, I'm very happy with this pick. It cost me only like 6 or 7 points, so it was generally just pretty safe, and I think it works pretty well. It also being burned means that you can't get paralyzed. So Pokemon out there with like Prankster Thunder Waves, um, if they don't get it on this Dragapult prior to it's getting burned, um, they can't paralyze it. So that's really solid. And at this point, I really, I've already said enough how much I love Donphan, and I really wanted to make it even stronger. And I said earlier there were a couple of things out there that could really work for it. Thick Fat was one of them. Um, but the reason I said that Thick Fat was on my radar the most for it was because I didn't think that Ice Scales would make it back to me. Not this late in the draft. I just didn't think it would. But here it is, round 4, an amazing ability. What Ice Scales does is it halves the damage the Pokemon takes from all special attacks. Halves it. It doesn't double its special defense. That's very different. That calculates differently. An attack that would do 100% to this thing now only does 50. If it does 50% to it, it now only does 25. It means that it doesn't have to run Assault Vest or a ton of special defensive investment to be a specially defensive wall. Now it can be a wall on both ends, which is amazing. And having such strong physical offense on its own, it can do that amazingly. Ice Scales on this thing is great. I got rid of Sandvale because Sturdy still most definitely has value for it. I really like Sturdy on it already. But Ice Scales, if Donphan comes, 99% of the time, it's going to bring Ice Scales. It's so good. And this is another point in the draft where I had no idea what to do. Ice Scales here cost me like 8 points. Um, so we're pretty low on points. At 19, only 4 picks in, we're really low. But I knew that one of the things out there that everybody was going to be going for was Flower Veil because I did the ranking of the abilities myself, so some of them were definitely misranked. But this one was the most misranked because I put it as a 1 point cost um, because I thought that it only worked in doubles. I was wrong. Flower Veil is if this Pokemon is a grass type, or grass types on my side of the field. That's why I thought it was only doubles. Um, but in singles, it's if the Pokemon is a grass type, then it cannot be statused and it cannot have its stats dropped. And that is amazing for a 1 point ability, which were all supposed to be either useless or actually, that's yeah, they were all supposed to be either useless or negatively impacting. So stuff like Defeatist, Slow Start, they were all down there, and double and abilities that only work in doubles like Symbiosis and Telepathy are down there as well. But this was the one useful ability in Tier 1 and as a 1 point that I totally messed up on. But everybody else can capitalize on it, so can I. Um, so we dropped Anticipation, just not a very good ability at all. Sorry if I hit my mic there. I think I did. We kept Iron Barbs because that's still worth watching out for physical attackers. Rapid Strike Urshifu is a massive threat in this format. Uh, so there's just this thing's great. It is. It's helpful. It really is. And being immune to status moves, as well as having a Dragapult that could sometimes be immune to other status moves, and 3 Heal Bell users. Also, I forgot to mention, but Articuno has Heal Bell as well. Having 3 Heal Bell users, and now 2 Pokemon that Could be immune to status moves, and a Guts Girder. I'm not all that worried about status moves. I'm just not. I think it's still going to be worth watching out for, but majority of the time, I'm just not going to care, and I'm up for that. But moving on to the next pick, I really didn't know what to do, so I just kind of said, screw it, sturdy Zoroark. So now this thing can live any guaranteed hit from full HP. Could be a sweep stopper. Uh, it's sturdy Zoroark, and I've got a little bit of heat planned with this thing. I don't know when I'm going to use it. We haven't randomized the schedule yet, but I've got some heat planned, and I'm very excited to see if it works. Um, I think that sturdy worked out great for it. Being capable of living a hit at full HP means that it can go for nasty plot and even hit harder, or it can run weakness policy agility pretty freely as long as I keep hazards off the field. But it should be noted, with that in mind, I have Magic Bounce Shuckle, I have 3 Defoggers, I have a Rapid Spinner, and all of them are good at what they do. So I feel like I don't need to worry about hazards in context to Zoroark specifically. And I'm super happy with this. I really am, because I feel like there's a lot you can do with sturdy Zoroark, and this thing only cost me like 3 or 4 points, I think. I don't remember. But going on to the next pick, something that really stood out to me was Victory Star for Rotom Wash. Um, it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and then somebody grabbed Compound Eyes, and I remembered, oh yeah, there are abilities that boost accuracy. So Victory Star costs 5 points, putting me down to 9, um, which is a pretty decent point cost total for 4 Pokemon. That's pretty decent. Victory Star, if you didn't know what it does, is it gives a 10% boost to accuracy in all moves. So Hydro Pump is now going up from an 80% accurate move to 88, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is, because now it only has a 12% chance to miss as opposed to 20. So it's a much more reliable move. Will-O-Wisp had a 15% chance to miss. Now it's 7.5. Thunder Wave, which used to have a 10% chance to miss, is now a 0.1% chance to miss. It's a 99, or it's a 1%. It's a 99% accurate move now. So I can spam Hydro Pumps, Thunder Waves, and Will-O-Wisps much more reliably, and that in general is just really good. It's not good enough to warrant me running Thunder, but I don't really care. I have budget Compound Eyes that makes me like 90+% accurate Will-O-Wisps. I'm never gonna say no to that ever. Um, Toxic as well is now 99% accurate, so I don't ever have to worry about missing those pretty much. If I miss those and I get angry for hacks, remember it's 99% accurate. If I miss, then I'm just the unluckiest person in the world. That's a 1% chance. But I'm really happy with this. I think it's really solid. And the next pick was something that I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, this sounds like fun. This would be cool. And it was Mummy. So with all the sweepers out there that are so revolved around their new ability, like Chlorophyll Mega Heracross, and like Moxie Weavile and Chillingnay Weavile and Moxie Mega Glade. Like there are some really big sweepers out there that are all based around their ability. Why don't I grab something that can disrupt that? And Articuno is defensive. Like I said earlier, it has a pretty respectable physical defense with 80, I think it was 90 HP and 100 physical defense. So that's respectable enough that you have to worry about Mummy. You have to think about it. And I replaced Snowcloak because I'm not going to replace Pressure. I'm not going to replace that. That's still useful. Um, so now my opponents have to have to second guess using physical attacks. If their Pokemon is like dependent on their ability. This cost us 4 points, leaving us with 5 for 3 Pokemon. So that's usually going to be like a 3 point and 2 1s, uh, or like 2 2 points and a 1. Either way, we're getting a 1. But for this next pick, something that kind I wasn't sure what to do with the Uxie for so long that I just didn't get something super great for it. That's actually not right. It's not Poison Point. Hold on, I forgot to change it. My original plan was Poison Point, and I put it on here, but that's not correct. Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta pull up what it was. I full on don't remember. But anyway, what we got only cost 2 points. It was Vital Spirit. We got Vital Spirit for it. And Vital Spirit grants an immunity to sleep, which I thought was pretty solid. Because there is still like Amoonguss out there. I believe someone has Roselia. There's some sleep powder Pokemon out there that would be worth watching out for. Uh, Ignore the bottom there. Remember, it's uh, uh, my brain shut off. Hold on. It's not Victory Star. It's not Poison Point. It's Vital Spirit. So it can't be put to sleep. Can really help out against something like Venusaur if somebody picks it up in Grace or in Free Agent, or against like Amoonguss or Roselia, or it can be helpful for Smeargle because somebody out there has Prankster Smeargle and that thing is annoying as heck. And it only costs us 2 points, so the point is actually wrong. We have 3 points total. So the next thing we got was Steadfast Typhlosion. And I don't think we're ever going to bring this, but I mean, in the off chance we do, it can work. It could, maybe. Between this and like something for Girder, I feel a need. The only thing in 2 point for Girder would be like Hypercutter, but like why bother with that when I have Guts? So Steadfast, we got rid of Blaze because there's no way I'm dropping Flash Fire. There's no way. Basically, if it gets flinched via like Fake Out or anything like that, then its speed goes up by 1 stage. Could be threatening. I know that there's some people out there with like 2 Fake Out users. Could be pretty threatening with that. Could like I could run Steadfast as a lead, them go for Fake Out, and then I'll take like very little damage because it's not a very strong move, and then I can go for Spike's Eruption with +1 speed. Like that could be actually pretty solid. But I will usually be running Flash Fire. But 2 point, there wasn't much value in it, but I figured I might as well just grab something that was worth. And then the last pick just doesn't matter at all, basically. We just grab Disguise. It's a 1 point ability that doesn't do anything. And we drop Sheer Force because I felt like Guts and Iron Fist were both really good. Having extra recovery with Drain Punch Iron Fist, stronger priority, and Guts being basically an immunity to the attack drop from Burn. It's too good to pass up on. And we got our full team here. It is updated to Vital Spirit Uxie. I'm very happy with it. I do really like the I forgot to put Donphan on here. I I completely forgot to put Donphan on the team. That's so disappointing because Donphan is my favorite part of this team. Um well, that's embarrassing. But just imagine Donphan is there next to Girder, okay? But I'm really happy with it. I'm super happy with Generator Mega Audino. Ice Skills Donphan is great. Sturdy Zoroark has great potential in my opinion. Mummy Articuno having some disruption in that. Magic Mountain Shuckle is amazing. I love it. I'm so glad that I got it. Victory Star Rotom, pretty cool. It can work. It's very consistent. And I really like this team. I do. And I wasn't originally going to make videos on this league until like we finished drafting. I was like, oh my gosh, I like this team too much not to. So if you guys are looking forward to this really weird league gimmick that I'm sure is going to continue for the next couple of seasons because the coaches seem to really enjoy it already, and only one division has finished draft so far, and like everybody's already really hyped. And we've already got some more people spectating, and just it's already growing, and I'm really happy with it. Both as like a server and just as a league, the community's been. I feel like there's already a community growing. I'm super happy with it. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you're excited, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz. You've heard it a million times on every other YouTuber ever. But seriously though, it does help me out a lot. It really shows me you enjoy this content that I really enjoy making. I am super excited for this league in particular. And that being said, that's it. That's all I have for you. So thank you all so much for dropping by today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to see you all in week 1. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye. Taking me a while. Don't worry about it.